Good morning, folks. Hope we're all well. Had a massive night of boxing last night. So I've literally just got up. I had a few hours sleep and I made some notes and I'm going to talk about them now. First off, Billam-Smith successfully defended his WBO Cruiserweight title against Richard Riakporhe. Now, going into this fight, I thought that Riakporhe was going to win. I didn't think, judging on Billam-Smith's last fight against Masternak, and he looked awful and was losing up until the stoppage, I actually didn't think he had a hope in hell of winning this. And he did. He pulled out a unanimous decision. I had it 118-109. The judges were fucking dreadful. The right man won. Billam-Smith won. But the scores were 116-111 and 115-112 twice, which I think is absolutely fucking ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous scorecards. There is no way Richard Riakporhe won more than 2 rounds, especially not for me. I gave him the first. I thought he jabbed very well, and was although Billam-Smith was having his moments and he was in control in the first round, I just felt Riakporhe's jab was doing the job. But everything else went to Billam-Smith, apart from, I think it was the ninth round, where Riakporhe landed a couple of right hands that really troubled Billam-Smith and shook him a little bit. So, but the majority of the fight, it wasn't the worst fight. It wasn't as bad as Billam-Smith's fight against Okolie last year, but it wasn't far off. There was too much holding from Riakporhe, mainly. A lot of holding. He was a bit rough with his head. He did actually lose a point in the last round. The referee had enough. He'd warned him about 5 or 6 times. Watch the head. So I didn't mind that. I didn't think that was a bad point deduction. But it was a fucking terrible fight to watch at times. You know, there was too much holding. I mean, Billam-Smith was working well. He was working the body on the inside. He was countering with a right hand, left hooks. He was jabbing nicely. Riakporhe just seemed to have no idea what to do. He just kept steaming forward and grabbing hold. And even when he did have success, because I mean, you could see at the end of the fight, Billam-Smith's eyes were swollen and his nose was busted up. So yeah, it wasn't all like, yeah, he wasn't doing anything, but he'd land a couple of punches and then he'd just grab hold, or he'd smother his own work, or he'd lean all over Billam-Smith. And yeah, it just wasn't enjoyable to watch at times. Anyway, Billam-Smith is still the WBO champion. He's expressed interest in unifications and going to America, Las Vegas in particular. Let's be real. I like Billam-Smith and I like Richard Riakporhe, but both of those two get eaten alive by the likes of Jai Opetaia and Zurdo Ramirez. I'm sorry to say. You know, I support my British fighters, people from my country, obviously, but yeah, let's be fucking realistic. They both get eaten alive by the other champions. You know, and it's pretty tragic actually that those two are considered the best cruiserweights in Britain. You know, at world level. You know, so yeah, it wasn't the best fight. I don't know what Riakporhe does from here. I'm just thankful it wasn't Riakporhe against Lawrence Okolie. Could you imagine that hugfest? Good lord, that doesn't bear thinking about. That would put you off boxing for life. If that was the first fight you ever watched, if those two did fight, you'd never watch boxing again. That would be fucking atrocious. You just know it would be. Good lord, no. So anyway, the right man won. The scorecards were fucking crazy. I don't know what those judges were seeing, how they could give more than 2 rounds to Riakporhe. It boggles my fucking mind, but hey, you know, boxing judges can be fucking strange sometimes. It's nothing new. This is nothing new. Anyway, over to Gervonta Davis, WBA Lightweight champion. He successfully defended his title against Frank Martin. Highlight reel knockout in the 8th. They trapped him on the ropes. He finished him with a left uppercut, left hook. You know, southpaw left hook. Fucking took him out. Done. Finished. Great performance from Tank Davis. Obviously, that clown Garcia jumped in the ring. Ryan Garcia jumped in the ring afterwards with his rematch. Give me a rematch, bitch t-shirt on and shit like that. I'm not sure exactly what the fuck's going on with Garcia. He seems to have completely lost the fucking plot. Like I say, he tested positive for Osterine and various, you know, it's just the crazy behaviour. He seems to have forgotten all about Haney and all that business. So I don't know what the fuck's going through his mind, but whatever. It's just, he's just an attention-seeking twat. basically, isn't he? You know, we all know what he is. You know, all this, oh, they're out to get me, the Illuminati's out to get me stuff. Just shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're just an attention-seeking whore. Like I say, he's an Instagram model first, and a boxer. A decent boxer when he's not on the fucking gear. But let's face it, I've always said it. Yeah, maybe I'm being disrespectful, you might disagree with me, but to me, he's of that generation. He is an Instagram model, and then a boxer. But, yeah, Tank Davis did what he had to do. Not much to say really. This is his first fight since the Garcia fight, actually, so it's been over a year since he's been in the ring, and he looks good. A lot of people say he's the face of boxing. I personally think the face of boxing now is Alexander Usyk, and probably still Canelo Alvarez, but hey, he's up there. Tank Davis is up there. He just needs to fight more often, in my opinion, and I think fights against he should be chasing the other lightweights champions, like Shakur Stevenson, whose name came up. You know, fights like that's who he should be going for, but you know, we'll see what happens with him. And on the undercard of that, David Benavidez made his light heavyweight debut. He beat Alexander Gvozdyk. I can never say the guy's name properly, so I do apologise. Good workmanlike performance, considering he was at the higher weight. And yeah, I think he's now the interim WBC light heavyweight champion, whatever that means. You know, obviously he ain't going to get a crack until after Bivol and Beterbiev have their fight later in the year. But no, good workmanlike performance, good debut. You know, not much to really say about it really. It was good victory for him. And then the big upset. They're saying it's the upset of the year in Puerto Rico. Subriel Matias was making his homecoming, the IBF, to defend his IBF Light-Welterweight title against Liam Paro, who a lot of people didn't give a lot of hope to in this fight. And this was supposed to be the big homecoming to Puerto Rico. He's going to be Puerto Rico's next big star. And Liam Paro spoilt the plans. He took a unanimous decision and the title. The judges had it 115-112 twice and 116-111. I had it 115-112 as well. Good. It was a bit of an ugly fight to watch at times. I mean, Matias, everything he did, the crowd were going fucking crazy for. Obviously, he's the hometown boy, so that was to be expected. I was expecting Paro to get fucked on the scorecards purely because of the crowd's reactions. And it's getting a bit fucking windy. I do apologise for the noise. I was expecting him to get fucked by the judges. I really was. And the referee, Luis Pabon, I thought he was pretty awful. I thought the point deduction in the seventh for the hitting on behind the head, I thought that was a bit egregious. I thought it was a bit of a stupid point deduction. Some people disagree. I've seen a few people online saying it was just. I don't know. I personally thought it was a bit over the top. But hey, whatever. It's boxing. Yeah, shit happens. But it didn't affect the score, the outcome. Liam Paro won. Yeah, he won this fight basically by nullifying everything that Matias did, because obviously Matias is a knockout artist, heavy-handed fighter, and of course, you know, Paro there was a lot of wrestling on the inside. There was a lot of a lot of spoiling to get the victory. But hey, you know, he got the victory. He deserved it. Fair play to the guy. There was no. It did surprise me. Eddie Hearn said there was no rematch clause, which did surprise me because rematch. We call him Rematch Room Eddie not for no reason, do we? Because obviously he likes his rematches, even if they're pointless. He always has rematch clauses and everything. So that did surprise me actually. It just shows how little they obviously thought of Liam Paro going into this fight, because for him not to even bother, because he always has his rematches. At Matchroom always have a rematch clause, even if it's not warranted. So that just shows how little faith they had in Paro, and fair play. The guy won, absolutely fantastic win. So maybe there'll be a rematch down the road, who knows. But I don't know what's going to happen with Matias now, because he was kind of like, they were kind of billing him as like the boogeyman, or the bogeyman as we say in the UK, of the division. A lot of people wouldn't want to fight him because he's too fucking dangerous, and it's high risk, low reward. And especially now, he's not got a title anymore. So the guys like Teofimo Lopez, I'm going to fight him now. Because what's the point? He's got no belt. Why would you risk it against a guy who's got no belt? So it'd be interesting to see Paro. He could end up in there with the likes of Lopez. It'd be it's just a fantastic time to be a boxing fan, really. But yeah, it wasn't a particularly, it was a pretty ugly fight, but there you go. The right man won on away soil, which is all that matters. It's always good to see somebody getting a fair shake when they're in the other guy's country. So yeah, good fight. Right, good victory. Right, that's enough out of me. I've got things to do this afternoon. You take care, folks. I hope you're well, and I'll speak to you next week.